have to recognize respect and acknowledgement of history is what takes us forward, you know, and you learn, you unlearn, and then you relearn again. And as Sir said, the politics of it all, the human journey of every character, that is eternal, that's relevant even to date and up ahead, because every character is human, and human conflict, human emotional journeys, the roller coaster of what you go through, irrespective of the situation in which you come from. That is something that's relatable and relevant at every point in time.
Can I add that?
Sure.
So we are actually North India, South India in a way, right? Half the people know about the Cholas through this movie already, through the trailer. They can spell what Chora means. So that's an important statement, and even for the present generation to know the greatness of what existed 1,000 years back is very important for them to get their self-esteem and to know where to go from here. Not celebrating the past, but what they could do, what they are capable of, and to finding themselves. So, yeah. Thank you.
May I add to that, please?
Sure.
Sorry, you got all of us excited. See, everybody has interest. There will be people who like science, astronomy, geography, history. But I think the most important thing is history. As children, all of us have listened to stories of the past. Whether it's Chandamama. Do you have Chandamama in Hindi?
Yes, yes.
Whatever.
Amar Chitrakam.
All those are stories we hear. We've been told stories about the past, about kings, we've had such an illustrious past. Just a small thing that I want to bring to your notice. We all talk about the pyramids and how could they have possibly built it? How did they do it so many years ago? But do you know that in India, we have so many temples, but the one with the highest Gopuram is there in Tanjore, which is where the Chola dynasty had happened, and his role, Rajaraja Chola I, had built it. That particular temple has the highest Gopuram in the whole world. The top stone alone, it's a single stone that weighs 80 tons. 80 tons, not 1 ton or 2 tons. And how did they do it? But do we know that? We all go to the pyramids, we go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Someone said something very nicely. He said, we are actually appreciating a building that doesn't stand. It's falling over and wow, let's take a picture, let's take a selfie, and we're getting excited. But we have temples today that stand and they didn't use plaster. Do you know that for this particular stone, they had to use a ramp, which was 6 kilometers long, which was pulled by bulls, elephants, and people. 6 kilometers long to get it up there, without any machinery, without any cranes, without anything. And they didn't have plaster. It's withstood 6 earthquakes. You know what happens when an earthquake comes? Without plaster. What they have done is they have an outer wall, then inside that they have a corridor of 6 feet, which is an open, just a corridor, and then they have another structure inside which goes all the way to the top, which is why they can withstand earthquakes, which is why they stood so long. So these are all things that we need to know about. This particular king has built 5,000 dams in his time, and he's made a water management ministry in that time. He's had elections for the village leaders. He's asked them to name cities after women. Why should it only be men? Why can't it be named after a queen? And they've had hospitals, free hospitals, and and he actually brought loans. I mean, he used to give loans. He used to help people get dignity, not just throw money around. So this is something that's so illustrious. And this happened in the 9th century. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time. No, it happened in the 9th century when the rest of the world, you talk about superpowers today, the 9th century all this happened when we had the biggest maritime naval thing in the world. And it went all the way to Bali, all the way to Malaysia, and went till we sent emissaries to China. And you know what was the superpower doing then? America hadn't been discovered by Columbus till 500 years later. So think about our culture, think about how advanced we were. We need to be proud of this. It's nothing to do with North India, South India, West India, East India. It is, we are Indians. And we need to feel proud about that. And England is so illustrious, but Englands were invaded by the Vikings, and the Europe was in the dark ages during the 9th century. They had nothing going on. So don't you think we should celebrate history?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mani sir,
I need water, please.
Mani sir, I got 2 questions for you here. Harshada here. Sir, one thing is that how did you manage to get the galaxy of the actors in one frame? I'm very curious, as
He
in,
paid us a lot of money.
I'm sure about it, but there must be something behind the camera. How did you manage to get them in one frame?
You just have to ask them, give them a role, tell them this is the character, this is a book, you want to do it, I would like to do it, I told them. So I would have done anything to get them.
They get money.
It's an easy yes for him. He just has to call and everybody very easily and happily says yes. That's the truth.
I'm sure, ma'am.
He asked two questions. Do you want money or do you want money? You say money any day.
But he's already money.
Sir, my second question is that, how did you place that Aishwarya ji will be playing this character, Vikram ji will be playing that character? You left to them, or that is your idea that he should play this and that actor should play that character?
I can't ask them to exchange the roles.
No, just for example, like how did you
Yeah,
place
I
them?
understand what you're asking. No, I think when you approach an actor, you approach with a character in mind. You think he or she will be right for it, and therefore that is why you approach. You approach them not for a film but for a character. And if they are able to be on sync with the character, and if they like it, and if they have the time, then it becomes perfect.
Hi, I just have one more question. This is for Trisha. Trisha, over here. Can you see?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah. So obviously you're playing Princess Kundavi. I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Kundavai.
Oh, Kundavai. I'm so sorry for that. But obviously I think she's said to be a woman of courage, and as we've seen a little bit in the trailer, given the times that we live in today, especially on the with the issues of women's security, would you like to give some tip, to the women out there, on how to have courage?
So, a lot of people asked me, actually told me, playing Kundavai would have been so different for you because it's a woman who belongs to that era, and you've played characters which are pretty strong and a very, today's woman. But besides the physicality of the character, I could totally relate to Kundavai, even though she belonged to a totally different era, because she by herself is very, very empowered. And to be honest, we come from a blessed generation where, I feel very empowered today, but in that era, it was very, very difficult. I mean, a woman even voicing something in a kingdom where the men would be like, who is she to just walk into a kingdom and say this, So that was one part of Kundavai that I took from today because I could really relate to it. She's very strong, very empowered. And that's what I loved about Kundavai, because I was playing today's woman dressed differently, set in that era. So mind-wise, it was very similar. It's just that the appearance was very different.
Hi, Aishwarya ma'am. Hi.
Hello.
This is Titash from News 18. My question is, of course, we are in awe of you after we watched you on the screen. You look lovely, ethereal. I would want to know what was your daughter Aradhya's reaction when she saw you as a queen?
She's yet to see the movie. But of course, at the time, she was, I'm sure, enthralled. And there are many here who have children. And, seeing a period drama is always exciting. And she did get the opportunity to visit on set. And it was mesmerizing. I could see that in her eyes. But I think my admiration for working with him, she already has she respects him, she's in awe of him, and his affection is so sweet. And I think what excited her the most is the one day when she came on set and he gave her the opportunity to say action. She couldn't get over that. She's like, sir gave me the opportunity to say that. I said, my God, even we are going, I don't think any of us have had that opportunity. None of us have had that opportunity. So that's probably the most cherished memory. I said, this is really precious. And she values it already. And I think with growing years more so. It will be a much cherished memory.
Right. And my second question is, how much of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan do we see in this character that you play in the film?
A sincere student who earnestly has interpreted Mr. Mani Ratnam's vision. I think that's really our job as an actor. Thank you.
हाय, संजय मिश्रा फ्रॉम नवभारत टाइम्स ऑनलाइन। रहमान सर से एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आमतौर पर मतलब ऐसा मौका कम आता है, आपने इस फिल्म में गाना गाया है, तो अगर आप गुनगुना दें हमारे लिए बहुत प्रिविलेज होगा, मौका भी है।
मौका नहीं छोड़े. Clever, good.
I don't have the lyrics, but I can do the Tamil version. பொன்னி நதி பார்க்கணுமே காத்த போல கன்னி பெண்கள் காணணுமே காத்த
क्या
காவேரி से
क्या बात है, थैंक यू सो मच। मनी सर से सवाल है कि जब ये फिल्म इतनी एक तो बहुत एपिक फिल्म है, तो इसकी बहुत सारी कहानियाँ होंगी, कई दशकों से आप ये फिल्म बनाना चाहते थे। जब आप पहले बनाना चाहते थे, क्या आपको याद है कास्टिंग क्या आपने सोची थी? अगर आपको लगता है कि इस समय लोगों से ये शेयर करना चाहिए और मज़ेदार होगा वो किस्सा, तो प्लीज़ आप शेयर करें।
No, like I told you, this is film that MG Ramchandran wanted to make, and he had a set of cast. And then later, when I thought of this, it was after the film called Nayagan that I've done with Kamal. We both wanted to do this film, so at that time we hadn't started casting. We just had Kamal Haasan as the hero, and we were working on the script. And it didn't, it didn't get materialized because it was too big. We couldn't put it into a single film, and we couldn't afford it. So we left it back. So that's what the history is.
Hi, this is
Hi.
Komal Panchal from Indian Express. My question is for Mani Ratnam, sir. Here. Sir, with PS1, it's like a window to Tamil history for the west and the north parts of India. When we make such big historical films, there is a trend at times where history is tweaked a little to satiate a